Today, we're going to be talking about influenza and the immune system. Now, influenza is a virus. No way around it. That's what it is. You see, many different things can infect the body. You got viruses, fungal infections, bacterial infections. There's just a lot of infections, and all of them aren't very good. So, we're going to specifically be talking about influenza, which is commonly known as the flu. So, if you hear people talking about flu, it's influenza, and it's a bad, nasty disease, and no one wants it. Influenza is a respiratory disease, so it will go in and infect your lungs, usually using aerosols or small particles that float in the air. So, if someone were to cough on someone, like so, then it doesn't go too well. Yikes. Now then, when these aerosols get into your lungs, they have the virus in them, right? There's virus mixed along with the air and souls. And what ends up happening is your cells, which will be represented by this chicken in a box, what happens is your cells get infected. So your viral load, or a virus, will go in and it will attack the cell. Now, that's more dramatic than what actually happens, because what actually happens is the virus will approach the cell very normally. Then it will get next to the cell, and using the proteins, you see those little bulbs? It's hard to tell because of Minecraft, but the little bulbs are actually proteins that allow the virus to infiltrate the cell. Then, after the virus has infiltrated the cell, it will start to approach the nucleus. Because the nucleus, you see, it's where it tells the cell what to do, right? Like your parents. And so it will go in, and it will infect the nucleus. And it will tell the nucleus to create more viruses. And as such, the cell creates more viruses, and the viruses start to seep out. The viruses start to go out and affect the rest of the body, and if all goes horribly, ends up killing the body. Now you see, getting infected is bad, and so the body has a few ways of stopping it. The first are innate defenses, kind of like walls. Because you see, without these walls, the virus can just go in and infect, then just go in and just start replicating and doing bad things, and we don't want that. Viruses aren't allowed to do bad things. Yeah. And so there's the two main ones are your skin, or cellular wall. I think that's a scientific term. And mucous membrane. So this stuff, the gold stuff, the skin, right? That's your outer barrier. It keeps the staph, it keeps all the bacteria on the outside of your body. And so when it works as intended, the viruses come up and they see the wall and they go, dang, that's a wall. And they can't get past. When you get a cut, though, viruses are now allowed to go through and enter the fleshy stuff, which they want to do, but we don't want them to do. It's a very golden body. And so your next defense is the mucous membrane. It lines all your inner body parts, so the throat, the intestinal lining, all of that stuff that's supposed to have things go in it from the outside. It's all lined with this stuff, because you see, it's like it's all weird and gross, and you can't really do stuff. Like, let's say I'm a virus, right? And I'm trying to get, hold up, I have a better. There we go. I'm trying to get to there, right? And there's this gap of death. You see, with this mucous membrane, I try to go in and then I just die because it's sticky, it's stuck, and I just can't get past it. Can't get through it. I'm stuck in the mucous membrane. That's definitely not honey. And so the same thing happens with the viruses, and they just can't reach it. And so they die horribly and the painful and slow death because we don't like viruses here. Some other just innate defenses are your stomach acid, because that just destroys and dissolves stuff. And the main other one, but that's kind of weird and gross to do in Minecraft, so just I'm gonna let you imagine it. Cool? Done imagining? Done imagining. Okay. Now besides that, you got some active ones, right? First are the first responders, right? So let's say that You breathed in, and just like that zombie, you started to explode with symptoms. Now, the first thing the body's gonna do is gonna send the macrophages. Macrophages, they walk up, go stop, and then it dies. No, what actually happens is the virus here. All right, pretend I'm a macrophage, right? I'll go up and I'll see a virus and I'll be like, that's not supposed to be here. And so I'll grab it and pull it into myself, as you can see right here. Then when it's inside of myself, I will take it and I will go to the inventory and delete it. That's basically what's happening. The macrophage grabs it, absorbs it, and then destroys it using its own acid that breaks down the virus and kills it mercilessly. That's the first defense. Besides the macrophages, there are neutrophils? Nutrisomethings. There are nutrisomethings. They're little things that live in your bloodstream. And when they get signaled, they will start to go in and attack anything that moves. Anything at all. Alright, so this is what's happening inside the body, right? And if I'm a neutrophage, then I'm just gonna go in and kill anything that moves. Whether or not it's helpful, whether or not it's hurtful, I'll just run in and just start murdering everything until eventually everything dies. Now, of course, that can be painful for the body, especially with a lot of these running around just killing everything. That's not very good. So after a few days, they're just gonna end themselves, letting the body, you know, not get completely destroyed in the process of, you know, trying to defend itself. It's a little counterintuitive. Now, if it was just up to those 4-ish things, and a few other things I didn't describe, but but if it's just up to those things, then I hate to say it, but our bodies would be dead, like, before even anything else. And as such, our body has this ultimate weapon. It starts with the dendrite cells. They walk up, they see a virus, and they go, stop. Much like the macrophage, but what they do is they collect the virus. They keep the bits, and they keep doing it. They keep doing it. And then they keep doing it, right? Now, after getting all the virus bits, they go and they retreat from the battlefield, because this whole battle's happening in your lungs, right? And they go and retreat, and they try to find your helper T cells. Because you see, this is the secret weapon of the immune system. Helper T cells. Because thanks to science and a whole bunch of stuff that I'm not going to explain, they've managed to make a way to defend themselves against every virus theoretically possible. Which is pure madness, I know. But just trust me, it makes sense and it works. So, the dendrite, it goes up and goes to different T cells, right? And I need a T cell. A dendrite, it goes up to different T cells, right? And it goes, hey, do those connect? You want a little bit more? No? Okay. There, I'll go find another one. And it goes over and it goes find another one and goes, huh? What do you think? Do you like it? Is it good? Do you want more? No? Okay. And all the dendrites will go around and test their virus bits on different T cells until ultimately there'll be a T cell that clicks. It rubs it on and it goes, you connect. You're taking it in. Oh my goodness. Come with me. And then it gets activated. And when it's activated, more and more will be produced. Now then, once the T cells are activated, the T cells will go out and find B cells. Again, with the whole T cell thing, there is a B cell for every single possible virus. And these B cells, they're like little mini factories, and they go in and they spit out antibodies. Not buttons, I swear, antibodies. These antibodies, when they encounter the correct virus, the one that they're specifically made for, they'll go in and they'll stick to it, slowing it down and stopping it from doing much of anything, making it an easy target for any macrophage to walk up and go, delicious. It allows for easier removal, let's say, of the viruses, easier identification and removal. And along with that, these things are very sticky. So one virus will get caught, another one, another one, another one, another one, and then one macrophage can walk up and go, huh, delicious. But the T cells do more than just activate your B cells. They also go up to the macrophages while they're doing their macrophage thing, right? Punch, move. While the macrophages are doing that whole thing, the T cells will walk up and they'll be like, keep up the good work, champ. And because of that, macrophages, they'll start going into absolute ham mode, finding any virus, any influenza virus, and just obliterating it even better and faster than before, completely destroying the numbers. And over time, these cells, these macrophages, B cells, T cells, dendrites, all of them, they'll work together and they will clear the infection from your lungs, ultimately leaving you slightly better than before. If you want like more details, check out Kurzgesagt. You know, I know you know about them. They're everywhere, but I use them for like most of this research. So just check them out. They're great, and they're really amusing to watch. I'll probably link the video in the description so you can check that out. But that's about it, specifically with the influenza virus. Well, this whole immune system thing is amazing and it works fantastically like 90% of the time. It's still not it's not something you want to have. It's not something you want to have happen, right? Because while the immune system is doing its thing, it doesn't really care about your other cells. And so, fun fact, your immune system ends up causing most of your symptoms like 90% of the time. So instead of having to deal with this and letting your immune system deal with it, it's better to do prevention. Now there's like 3-ish ways you can prevent influenza. First is when the flu vaccine comes out, get that, please. It's helpful like 80% of the time? Something around there. But it's extremely helpful and really effective at keeping you from getting the flu. Of course, besides that, as spoken before, it's an aerosol, so if you're gonna cough or do anything else, try to keep it in your elbow. Try to keep it from spreading anywhere else. Also, it can be spread by touching something an infected person has coughed on, because those aerosols do have the ability to stick to things. And so washing your hands, it's fantastic at keeping you from getting sick, and I'd highly recommend. But that's all for today.